I'm Peter Loshak. We are talking right now with SBR contributor Ross Benjamin, who's going to give us a parlay from the bowls for Friday, January 1st. Ross Benjamin, 5 bowls to choose from. A lot of interesting matchups here, right? Florida as an underdog to Michigan. How anemic is Florida's offense really? Then you got the Stanford-Iowa game. How overrated or not overrated is Iowa really? Ole Miss looking for a big bowl bounce back here. And then Notre Dame, Ohio State, 2 teams that just missed out making the college football playoffs. 5 interesting bowls. What do you like for your first pick of the parlay, Ross?
Well, let's look at the Northwestern and Tennessee game. This is a Northwestern team that's pretty much flown under the radar all season long. And you might be surprised to know Northwestern went 10-2 this year, finished with 5 straight wins, quality wins over Stanford, at Duke, at Wisconsin. Tremendous defense, Pete. 16.4 points per game, a little over 300 yards per contest. Tennessee did finish 5-0, but don't be misled, folks. The 5 opponents they faced in that win streak have a combined record of 18-42. So that might be a bit deceiving. Too much value for me to pass on this one, Pete. I'm going to take Northwestern plus the 8.5 against Tennessee. Now let's take a look at the Notre Dame and Ohio State game. Intriguing matchup. 2 teams that right down to the end were right in the mix for the college football playoff. Both suffered late defeats. Yeah. Notre Dame losing at Stanford and Ohio State losing that nail-biter to Michigan State. You know, Notre Dame 10-2, their only 2 losses, like I just alluded to, 38-36 at Stanford, 24-22 at number 1 Clemson, very close to being an undefeated team. Ohio State 11-1. You know, you could say 2 things about Ohio State. When they're on their game, they're as good as anybody in the country. But the problem is they've been so inconsistent this season, Pete. You look at the fact that they barely beat Northern Illinois by 7 at home, Indiana by just 7, and the Maryland game, which they won by 21, that was a 7-point game in the 4th quarter. This appears to me to be one that goes right down to the wire. In that case, it favors the underdog. I'm going to take Notre Dame plus the 6 over Ohio State. Any thoughts before I get to my last game, Pete?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sort of still feeling that game out. I've heard sharp opinions on both sides of that Notre Dame Ohio State game. Sharp opinions like at each side. It's still a tough one. I don't know. As a square bettor, I have no opinion, and the sharps are divided. All right, what's your third play in the parlay?
Well, let's look at the Ole Miss and Oklahoma State game, and as you alluded to, Pete, quite astutely, Ole Miss looking for a bounce back in a bowl game. Yes. I mean, last season, if you recall, TCU just thoroughly embarrassed Ole Miss. Well, you know, they're going to be facing an Oklahoma State team that's not coming into this bowl game with a lot of momentum like TCU had a season ago. As a matter of fact, the last 5 games Oklahoma State played this season, they allowed over 43 points per game and close to 600 yards per contest. Not very impressive. And this is an Ole Miss team that can be very explosive offensively. 40 points per game, over 500 yards per contest. Quality wins at Alabama, against LSU, at Mississippi State, knocked off Texas A&M as well. You know, and they've been a very good team under Hugh Freeze when facing suspect defenses. All you have to look at is under Hugh Freeze, 6-0 straight up in ATS when there's a total of 63-70. And when the total's that high, they're not playing a very good defensive team. And they won those 6 contests by 24.3 points per contest. I'm going to lay the 8 points here and take Ole Miss over Oklahoma State.
All right, I'll tell you what, Ross Benjamin, I've heard a lot of sharps weigh in on this game. Every single one of them liking Ole Miss, and now we have yet another one with Ross Benjamin also saying that he likes Ole Miss. All right, maybe that's going to be a big winning play. Hopefully you guys aren't all wrong. All right, is that it? Just 3 plays for the parlay for
That's
Friday?
That's it. And again, when we talk about parlay here, Pete, I'm going to recommend every time when we have 3 teams, let's put them in 3 2-teamers called the round robin. Hit 2 out of 3, you make a profit. If you win all 3, we hit the jackpot.
All right, thanks so much for your thoughts, Ross Benjamin.